Hello team, welcome back to V-Project UK. So, as the title suggests, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at CarPro Essence Plus and where this product would fit into your detailing arsenal. Also in this video, as usual, we'll be giving you some detailers top tips and some hints and tips along the way. So, without wasting too much time, let's start the video. So, before we touch on the subject of CarPro Essence Plus, we first need to touch a little bit about ceramic coats and what they are. If you've not seen our previous video about the truth about ceramic coats and is this what you expect from a ceramic coat, we'd highly recommend you watch that video because that will cover a lot of background information which will actually develop into this video. So it's definitely worth having a look at that video. However, in essence, if you've seen that video, you would have heard us discuss that ceramic coats should mainly be classed as paint protection and also the gloss levels of your paint once you've actually finished it by machine polishing. Don't rely on your ceramic coat for the hydrophobics because that is where a top coat, something like PolishAngel Cosmic Spritz or ReLoad, another favourite top coat of ours from CarPro, come into play. This is what will provide you with mainly the hydrophobics and extra gloss on your paint surface because of layering. The ceramic coat will be on the paint, you then top it with this. So as this is the top LSP product, this is what's going to be giving you most of the gloss on the top surface and the hydrophobic property. As I mentioned, it's all been covered in that video, the truth about ceramic coats, so have a look at that video if you've not done so already. Now, contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of myth and misconception out there about ceramic coats on your paintwork. They're made out to be some wonder product, and that just isn't the case. Yes, they are fantastic, and at V-Project UK we prefer ceramic coats to waxes or sealants. However, they are as impervious to scratches and holograms and water spotting and imperfections as your clear coat would be. So you ask the question, why would you bother using a ceramic coat if they're still prone to scratching and holograms and marring? Well, the answer is that this is what is going to give you the protection on your paint surface. So instead of your paint being scratched with holograms or scratches, it will be the ceramic coat because that will give you a layer of glass or quotes silicon dioxide, which is quite hard. It's harder than lacquer. So all the imperfections will be caused on your ceramic coating and not on your paint surface itself, which means you can then machine polish this away and actually reapply your ceramic coat on your paint surface, which is now intact. So the next detailer's top tip is that, like most things in life, not all things are created equal, and silicon dioxide, SiO2, is no different. Silicon dioxide can actually come in different grades, which is what you find in ceramic coatings, which is why some ceramic coats will give you a warm carnauba glow, i.e. they're not crystal clear, or something like Miyabi coat from Kamikaze collection, which is a firm favourite of ours, will give you a really crisp candy-like gloss and is super easy to apply as well, as is Dr. Beasley's Formula 1201. Now, it's not to say that, for example, the silicon dioxide that you find in Dr. Beasley's is not high quality. It is high quality, but sometimes you can just get higher quality ceramic coatings, such as Miyabi coat from Kamikaze collection. Think of it like a diamond. When you buy diamond, you can get various grades of clarity, and that is the same for ceramic coats. The higher the purity, the more candy-like crisp gloss you would get. As we've just mentioned, coming back to these two ceramic coats, I just want to stress the point that it doesn't mean that the silicon dioxide in something which provides you a carnauba glow is not good. It probably would still be a high quality, but as is things in life, sometimes you get things which are a higher quality. So, for example, if you look at the case of Kamikaze collection Miyabi coat, you will see that on the packaging, hopefully you can see this, it says that it's 96% SiO2. So that doesn't mean that this has got 96% of silicon dioxide in the actual chemical makeup, but what it's saying is that the clarity of the silicon dioxide within the Kamikaze Miyabi coat is 96% pure, which is why you're getting that crisp candy-like gloss. So the reason we mention that is just to confirm that ceramic coats are still impervious to scratching and holograms and marring, and this is where you have a dilemma, because you have now one of two options to fix that ceramic coat, and we'll just talk about that now. So when it comes to ceramic coatings, you've got one of two options. The first option is once the ceramic coat has been on the vehicle for a couple of years and it's starting to show signs of weathering, it's got scratches and holograms that you want to take care of, but you don't completely want to remove the ceramic coat, then you've got one of two options. The first one is to lightly abrade the surface and remove those scratches and imperfections like you would on your vehicle surface or the lacquer. Or the second option is to actually use a product which does some filling and boost the gloss and add some protection to that ceramic coat. And we're going to touch on both of those elements now. At V Project UK, our preference is to actually correct any ceramic coat or the paint. We're not big fans of filling. However, there could be times when filling is necessary, and we'll touch on that when we come to CarPro Essence Plus. So the first option would be to use a very light cleaner polish, something like Perfect Polish from AngelWax, which has very light abrasives inside it. Is also a cleaner polish, which means it will give you some correction and it will actually clean the surface of that ceramic coat, allowing you to add an LSP, again something like CarPro ReLoad or something like PolishAngel Cosmic Spritz. And what we would do with Perfect Polish is team this up with the Rupes fine yellow pad, and this is a pad we've used before, but basically we would use this and it will give you some correction but not remove too much of the ceramic coat. So that would be your first option. The second option would be to use a Meguiars MicroFibre pad, the DMC pad. This is a DMC 6, but you can also use a DMC 5. And as it's a microfiber pad, this will actually remove much more of the ceramic coat, and you would team this up with a much more aggressive cutting compound, something like CarPro ClearCUT. And as you can see from the old style packaging, this is something we've used for a while. And this will remove much more of the ceramic coat. So if you have heavier imperfections, heavier scratches which are deeper, this might be your second option. So that's your first option, to use some sort of abrasion to remove the scratches and imperfections from your paint surface. However, there could be a time when that is not an option, because if you've seen our previous video about detailing responsibly, you would have seen that basically the 25% surface of your lacquer is what contains your UV protection. So if you've removed more than 25% of the lacquer when you're doing machine polishing, you've now removed all of your UV protection. So basically you do not want to remove any more. That could be one scenario. A second scenario could be that the paint is super soft and it really scratches when you go for any type of correction, and you might want to use something like Essence Plus, because this does not contain any abrasives at all. What this will do is it will clean, it will glaze and fill any imperfections you might have, and it will also leave behind a layer of SiO2 which builds on your ceramic coat. So that would be an option or a scenario where you would use something like CarPro Essence Plus. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate Essence Plus and how it works, and also show you, you've obviously seen in the video, throughout the video, I've already masked off this area. I'm going to bring you in for a close-up and show you the imperfections that are already there. We'll then see just how much this fills. There's also some deep scratches which you'll see when we get a bit closer. So we'll see how much filling this actually does. We'll see how much protection it leaves behind. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you my thoughts about how good this product is, would we use it, and does it find its way into our detailing arsenal. So I'll bring you in for a close-up, we'll have a look at the imperfections, and then we'll go for a demonstration. So this section has been fully prepared in preparation for this video, and I always say this, but I'm hoping that the imperfections show up in this video. But you can see this panel, as we've mentioned before, we've used this panel quite a few times in some of our videos. The lacquer is soft, so you can see that there's loads of scratches and imperfections, and you can see this horrible deep scratch right there. And it'll be interesting to see how much it fills that. I'm not expecting miracles, but we'll see just how much it fills. And as mentioned, we'll see just how much protection Essence Plus leaves behind in terms of thickness. So you can hopefully see loads of scratches. As usual, I'm using the Sealey ColourMatch LED 360 cm. Gives you a good indication. And what I'll do is I'll just use the Rupes LL150 light as well, just as a different light source. But yeah, you can hopefully see those imperfections. So I'll mount the camera and we'll get some polishing done. So first detailer top tip is that when it comes to using CarPro Essence Plus, you just want to use a really soft pad, something like the Rupes UltraFine pad. This is the Flex PXE 80 cordless polisher. We've also got a video on this. If you've not seen it, check it out. And we've got it mounted on the 12mm dual action attachment. And like I said, we've got the Rupes UltraFine white pad. You basically just want to use a gloss pad or a finishing pad because Essence Plus does not contain any abrasives. So all you're doing is basically using the product to fill any gaps you might have. So this area is quite small. So for us today, this 3-inch pad on the 12mm dual action attachment will be perfect. So detailing responsibly, what we'll do first of all is we'll take some measurements about the paint thickness and we'll see just how much we're dealing with before we start with CarPro Essence Plus and how much protection it leaves behind, so we can get an accurate measure of just how much SiO2 it's leaving behind. So let's just take some rough measurements. Apologies for you in the USA if you're watching this, because we do like imperial here, so I'm going to do it in microns, but we'll have a quick look. That's 127. 134, 136, it's a bit thinner there, 119, 123, 128, 115, gets a bit thinner there as well, 120, 121. So I'd say on average we've got about, let's say, 125, so we'll use that as a base measure, 125 microns, and we'll see how we go. Also, I'm just going to take a quick measurement of the temperature to see the temperature of the panel. It's quite a cold day today and it's showing 13.6 degrees Celsius. So that becomes important because as soon as I finish machine polishing, what I'm going to do is take the temperature of the panel to show you the difference in temperature once you go in for any sort of correction. And also, it's a basic law of physics that when things get hot, they will expand. So if you take a measurement as soon as you finish machine polishing, it could be inaccurate because the lacquer would have swollen a bit and you need to wait for it to cool down before you take any measure. But as you can see at the moment, it's going about 13.5, 13.6 degrees. So we'll take a measure as soon as we finish machine polishing as well. So before I start machine polishing, I've written down here that we had about 125 microns when we started and the panel was at 13.5 degrees roughly. So that will be our measure. So when it comes to CarPro Essence Plus, here's a detailer's top tip for you. If you look on the back of the packaging, it will actually tell you that when you've actually finished applying CarPro Essence Plus, you need to leave it for about 30 minutes. And that will give the glazes and the filling agents and the SiO2 within Essence Plus time to cure. So basically, go around your vehicle, don't wipe it off as soon as you've applied it. By the time you've done your vehicle, you can then come back and wipe it off from the point you started, and that will give the product enough time to cure. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that section, we'll leave it for half an hour, come back, I'll bring you in for a close-up. We can hopefully see how much filling has been done by this product. Remember, there's no abrasives in here. We'll see how much it's improved that section, and by the lines we'll also be able to see just how much gloss and clarity is added, and we'll measure to see how much SiO2 is left behind. And as mentioned, at the end I'll give you my thoughts about whether we would use this or not. So let's get started. This product, make sure you give it a good shake before you start, and you don't need too much. On a 3-inch pad like this, we're just going to use 2 or 3 small pea-size amounts. And another detailer's top tip for you is that when you spread this product, you need to be sort of fairly slow-ish. So maybe 2 or 3 is more than enough. Okay, I increased the speed halfway through because you could see that the actual pad was not spinning. So I just went up 1 step just to make sure we get some good coverage, and that's why I increased it. Again, detailer's top tip, previous videos we've mentioned to mark off your polisher so you know if it's spinning or not, and it paid dividends in this video. Great demonstration. So now we'll leave that for half an hour. We'll come back and we'll see where we are. Before I forget, we'll take a quick measurement of the temperature, see what's happened to the temperature. And as you can see, it's now gone to 15.9. So just by those 3 passes, we've gone up just over 2 degrees. It's actually cooling down now. So just goes to show, always wait for the panel to cool down before you take any measurements. So while CarPro Essence Plus is actually drying and curing, I just want to give you another detailer's top tip. You may be aware that there's actually 2 products called Essence on the market, and I just wanted to clarify exactly what they are. So you may or may not know that Essence is actually an abrasive product and something that you would use before you actually put a ceramic coat on top of it. So what this will do is this will give you some correction. It will also do some filling and lay a foundation for any ceramic coat you might want to put on top. As mentioned at the start of the video, here at V Project UK, we don't like products that fill. However, again, you might not have an option because you might have a clear coat which is super soft, or a clear coat where you've had machine polishing before and the lacquer is super thin, and you may have no option but to use something which will fill any imperfections you might have. So Essence is a base product, something which you put underneath your ceramic coating. Essence Plus, as we're demonstrating in this video, is something that goes on top of your ceramic coating. So this will now finish a ceramic coating which has some imperfections over time. Again, as mentioned before, we prefer products that don't fill, but again, you might not have an option. So that's the difference between the 2 essences. Essence underneath, Essence Plus on top. Another detailer's top tip for you, something that might seem quite obvious. However, with something like CarPro Essence Plus, which is going to leave behind some protection, you don't want to use anything like Gyeon PREP once you wipe it away, because this can actually affect the hydrophobic properties of the ceramic coating which is left behind by Essence Plus. So again, wipe it away, don't use any PREP products after. Okay, so it's now been about half an hour since we've applied CarPro Essence Plus. So what we're going to do is give it a wipe away. At the beginning of the video, we had 125 microns roughly on average. We'll wipe it away and we'll see exactly how much SiO2 Essence Plus is left behind. So wipe away of this product is super easy. Even after half an hour, it absolutely wipes away like a dream. Literally, those few wipes is all I've had to do and it's wiped away. Really easy to use, easy to apply, easy to wipe away. So let's see how much SiO2 has been left behind. So we have 123, but that corner was quite low to begin with. 134, 133, 119. Again, that corner was quite low to begin with. 123, 128, 114. That area is quite low in general. 119, 121. So in conclusion, the areas that were low are still quite low. I would say it's probably left behind about 1 micron, so it's left a slight layer of ceramic coating, but nothing too thick. What I'll do now is I'll basically take the tape away, I'll bring you in for a close-up and we can see what difference it's made to the clarity and the gloss in that section. So we'll do that now. Okay, so I've removed the tape, and what I've done is I've left the tape line just on the bottom half of the square which we've done, just so you can see the area in which I was polishing, which is this area here. But I've left those lines so you can see. So what we'll do, using the same light, we're using the Sealey LED 360. We'll see if there's any difference. I'm not expecting miracles from this because, as mentioned before, Essence Plus does not correct, it just fills. But you can hopefully see that there is a difference from how many swirls you have here compared to how many you have here, where Essence Plus has done some filling and it's made quite a bit of difference. You can hopefully see just underneath that line there, where there's more swirls than there are there. So you can see that Essence Plus has done filling, but it hasn't filled them completely because the swirls on this panel are quite bad. And you can see that it has improved the gloss, the depth of the colour slightly as well. It hasn't done much for that deep scratch there, which we weren't expecting, but you can see that it has made some difference, and that's what you can expect from this product. So here's an honest summary about CarPro Essence Plus. Is it something we would use at VProject UK? As mentioned a couple of times previously, our preference at VProject UK is to go for correction. We tend not to use products that fill. However, there may be scenarios, as mentioned previously, where filling is the only option you have. You may have polished your ceramic coat to a level where there's hardly any left and filling is the only option. Or you may have a vehicle whereby the lacquer has been machine polished before, you don't have much lacquer to play with, and again filling and topping up is the only option. Now, at the start of the video, we started discussing ceramic coats, and we done that for a reason. We mentioned that Miyabi coat, one of our favourite ceramic coats here at VProject UK, has 96% pure SiO2, which means you get that clarity and that candy-like gloss from this ceramic coating, and it's also super easy to apply. The reason we mention that is that CarPro Essence Plus, from our use and experience, doesn't give you that crisp candy gloss. It gives you more of a carnauba glow, something similar that you would find from Dr. Beasley 1201. Now that's not a good or bad thing, because some people prefer that warm carnauba glow, whereas some people prefer that cool, crisp candy gloss. So if you have a vehicle which has a ceramic coating, something like Kamikaze Collection Miyabi coat or CarPro Quartz UK 3.0, which give you that crisp gloss, just bear in mind that if you go to enhance that ceramic coat or boost that ceramic coat after a few years, this will give you a carnauba type glow. So you will no longer have that crisp candy-like gloss that you had from that ceramic coat originally. So that's just something to bear in mind. The other thing we find with CarPro Essence Plus is that the ceramic coat SiO2 layer it leaves behind isn't that scratch proof. It actually scratches fairly easily. So that's also another thing to bear in mind. So in summary, does that mean that we would not use Essence Plus? Not at all. It's still a very good product. It's just making sure that you use the right product for the right job. For us, most of the time we'll go for correction using AngelWax Perfect Polish or something similar, just to get rid of those scratches before we add an LSP. However, as mentioned, there may be times when Essence Plus is something you need to use. So, we hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and if you're watching this video and haven't subscribed, please make sure you do, because every subscription helps and it will just help us grow the channel and help us produce more content for you. So make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you press the bell icon to get alerts for future videos. Make sure you check us out on Instagram and make sure you subscribe on there also. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.